All right, so today we're going to deep dive into DoorDash.
Ooh, DoorDash.
Yeah, you think about those late night cravings and, uh, you know, getting food delivered right to your door.
It's a game changer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But the story behind it, how they went from, just a small startup to this like multi-billion-dollar company,
Yeah,
it's pretty wild. And,
it is.
we've got some great sources for this one. We've got interviews with the founders. We've got some insights from some pretty big investors. And we've even got some analysis from industry experts. So we're going to break it all down to figure out, how they did it.
Well, and what's fascinating to me is that it's not just that they survived, right? Because the food delivery space, it's cutthroat.
It's brutal.
But they thrived.
Yeah.
So we got to unpack that.
Yeah. So let's take it back. Okay. Way back to 2012.
Okay.
We're in Palo Alto.
All right.
And there's this small macaroon shop.
Oh, wow.
And the owner's just slammed with delivery orders.
Of course, yeah.
But she's got no way to actually get those orders out to people.
Right.
So enter these 4 Stanford students: Tony Xu, Stanley Tang, Andy Fang, and Evan Moore.
Okay, a classic startup story.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, there's a need here.
Yeah.
There's a problem to be solved.
Light bulb moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were really drawn to this idea of, helping out these small businesses.
Well, and that seems to be a recurring theme, right? Like they really started from that place of trying to solve a problem
Totally.
and then figured out the business later.
Yeah. And, they were really scrappy in the beginning.
Oh, I bet.
Like, seriously scrappy. So get this.
Okay.
They were running the entire operation
Yeah.
off of a Google Voice number.
Wow.
Okay. And they were using Find My Friends on their iPhones to actually track the deliveries.
That's amazing.
They even became Domino's delivery drivers themselves.
Wow.
Just to understand the industry
Smart.
from the inside out.
That's commitment.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Instead of going for, what you would think like the obvious choice,
Yeah.
the dense city centers,
Right. Everyone's there.
right? Tons of people, tons of restaurants all packed together.
Yeah.
They went for the suburbs.
What, the suburbs?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And a lot of early investors were
Yeah.
scratching their heads.
I bet.
They're like, what are you doing?
Right.
You need that dense urban population to make this work.
Right, the density, yeah.
But DoorDash saw something different.
Okay.
They saw an opportunity.
What was it?
So think about it. Suburbs.
Okay.
Fewer competitors.
Okay. Less competition.
More people with cars.
Okay, so more potential drivers.
Right. Hello, Dashers.
Dashers, yeah.
And customers who really need delivery because everything's so spread out.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right.
That sense.
So it's like this classic example of not just accepting the status quo.
Right.
They saw this untapped market
Yeah.
and they went for it.
They did.
And it paid off.
Yeah.
Big time.
It did.
But their path to success,
Yeah.
it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So let's talk about their Series C and D funding rounds.
Okay.
Nail biters.
Oh, really?
Seriously. So
Wow.
at this point,
Yeah.
investors are throwing around terms like cash incinerator to describe the food delivery business.
Ouch.
Right? It was a tough sell.
I bet.
Employee morale
Yeah.
was tanking.
Oh, no.
And the founders,
Yeah.
they were staring down the very real possibility
Oh.
of going broke.
Oh, wow.
Tony Xu was even coming up with backup plans,
Really?
like becoming this super niche luxury delivery service.
Okay.
If all else failed,
Wow.
it was make or break time.
It really was.
But this is where you see the strength of their leadership
Okay.
shine through.
Interesting.
So enter Sequoia Capital.
Oh, yeah. Big name.
Yeah, this big VC firm,
Yeah.
Alfred Lin, one of their partners.
Mm-hmm.
He saw something in DoorDash when others didn't.
What did he see?
He was really impressed by their customer retention rates.
Oh, interesting.
People were coming back for more,
Yeah.
and that vote of confidence from Sequoia,
Yeah.
it was huge.
I bet it was more than just the money at that point.
Oh, absolutely. He was about having someone believe in them
Right.
when everyone else was like,
Yeah, when doubt was swirling.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But wait, there's a plot twist.
Oh, there's a plot twist? Okay.
So remember SoftBank,
Uh-huh.
this Japanese investment powerhouse?
Yes, very familiar.
They were initially interested
Okay.
in leading DoorDash's Series D,
Okay.
but they got sidetracked by a little thing called Uber.
Oh, right. Much bigger fit.
Right, a much bigger deal.
Yeah.
So talk about bad timing.
Oh, yeah.
DoorDash was left hanging.
Oh, no. Ooh.
Their cash dwindling with every passing day,
Yeah.
and they were down to mere weeks of Runway.
Weeks of runway.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Sequoia steps up again,
All right.
ready to lead the round themselves.
Wow.
Now, that was a bold move for Sequoia.
Bold indeed.
Especially after they'd already led the Series C round.
Right.
Like, it could have backfired.
It could have.
Spectacularly.
Yeah.
But then just as they're about to sign on the dotted line with Sequoia,
Oh, no.
SoftBank comes waltzing back in.
Oh, what?
So now, DoorDash has 2 term sheets on the table,
Oh, my God.
both with serious money.
Okay.
What do you do?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Right? Do you take a smaller amount for an investor you trust?
Mm-hmm.
Or a bigger chunk of change?
Yeah.
That might mean losing some control down the line.
Right. Classic dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tony Zhu, he's leaning towards Sequoia,
Okay.
but something just felt off.
Interesting.
And this is where Andy Fang, another co-founder, steps in with a wild suggestion.
Okay.
Take both investments.
Both.
Both.
Wow.
We're talking about $500 million
Okay.
at a valuation that's less than $1 billion.
That's a lot of dilution.
That's a ton of dilution.
Yeah.
But Tony Zhu,
Okay.
he's playing the long game. He figures that pile of cash will let them solidify their product,
Mm-hmm.
go on an expansion spree,
Yeah.
and become the big dog in the market.
Right.
And guess what?
What?
He was right.
Wow.
That decision was a game changer.
Okay.
They went from launching in 12 cities a month
Yeah.
to a whopping 3,000 cities in less than a year.
Wow.
Pure strategy.
Pure strategy.
They took that influx of cash
Yeah.
and turned it into this nationwide footprint,
Wow. They just completely dominated.
leaving the competition in the dust.
Yeah.
But just as they're hitting their stride,
Oh, what
the
happened?
pandemic hits.
Oh, right. Of course.
2020.
Yeah. Everyone remembers that.
What started as a moment of pure panic
Yeah.
quickly morphed into an unexpected opportunity.
Interesting.
So the pandemic,
Yeah.
it was a trial by fire
It was for everyone.
for the entire food delivery scene.
Yeah.
Adapt or die, right?
All right.
Companies had to think on their feet
Mm-hmm.
and put customer needs first
Mhm.
in a world that was changing by the minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
And DoorDash,
What did they do?
they rose to the occasion.
Okay.
So they slashed commissions for restaurants
Wow.
that were struggling.
Really?
They launched this nationwide TV campaign promoting all delivery services,
Wow. Even their rivals.
even their rivals.
That's interesting.
And they made sure that Dashers had access to PPE.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
They showed that they cared about their customers
Yeah.
and their partners.
And their partners. Yeah.
And people noticed that.
They did.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Okay.
There were some pretty intense internal debates.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when Tony Zhu decided to cut commissions for restaurants in half,
Wow.
even though it meant a $100 million hit
Okay.
to their bottom line.
Wow.
That's the kind of move that reveals a company's true colors.
It really does. Yeah.
They weren't just chasing profits.
Right.
They were trying to do the right thing, even if
Yeah.
it stung in the short term.
Yeah. Interesting. So if we zoom out for a second, it makes you wonder, can a company
Right.
really prioritize both growth and ethics?
Right.
Like, DoorDash's response during the pandemic suggests that they believe it's not just possible,
Yeah.
but absolutely essential.
Yeah, and you know what?
What?
They're not stopping at food delivery.
Oh, really?
DoorDash wants to be the backbone
Okay.
of how everything moves within a city.
Wow.
We're talking groceries.
Okay.
Anything you can buy at a convenience store,
Right.
alcohol, clothes,
Oh.
even financial services
Financial services where?
with DoorDash Capital.
Okay.
It's like they're aiming to become the FedEx
Oh, wow.
of local commerce.
That's a big goal.
Right. Not just delivering your dinner,
Yeah.
but connecting businesses and customers in this whole new way.
Interesting.
But becoming a global player,
Right.
it's no walk in the park, right?
No, it's not.
That's why their acquisition of Wolt, this
Oh,
European delivery
Yeah,
platform,
yeah.
is such a big deal.
Okay.
It shows that they're serious
Yeah.
about international expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're willing to team up with companies
Yeah.
that share their vision.
That makes sense.
But integrating a company like Wolt
Right.
with its own culture and way of doing things,
Yeah.
it's no easy feat.
Not at all.
You've got to wonder, can they replicate their success
Yeah. That's the question.
in these new markets
Yeah.
with different rules,
Mm-hmm.
different customer habits,
Yeah.
and all these new competitors?
That's what we're here to find out, right?
Yeah,
We're going to unpack that.
that have a big question mark.
Big question mark.
But we'll
Okay.
dive into that more
Okay.
a little bit later.
All right. Sounds good. So DoorDash, right? They're ambitious.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about that.
Definitely ambitious.
But ambition alone doesn't guarantee success.
No, it doesn't.
So let's kind of break down some of those strategic moves
Yeah.
that allowed them to, outmaneuver the competition and become a market leader.
Okay, so one thing that really jumps out from these videos is their obsession with data.
Okay, data's important.
And operational efficiency.
Yeah.
Like they were squeezing every second out of delivery times.
Yeah.
And making every penny count in their logistics network.
Exactly, because they knew in a business like this, where margins are razor thin, you can't afford to waste anything, time or money.
Right. And do you remember how they made all their employees?
Oh, yeah.
Even the founders. Work as dashers for a day every month.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Interesting.
It's one thing to analyze spreadsheets, right?
Sure.
But it's a whole different ball game to experience the challenges firsthand.
Yeah, totally.
And that commitment to understanding the ground level reality.
Yeah, get your hands dirty.
I think that gave them a real advantage.
Sure.
And it led to some pretty clever innovations.
Like what?
So they pushed for dedicated elevators.
Oh, wow.
And parking spots for dashers at restaurants.
Oh, that's smart.
Right.
Yeah.
They streamlined the pickup processes. And they even built features into their app to predict and avoid delivery delays.
Well, that's interesting.
Those might seem like small tweaks,
Certainly
but
add up.
they add up to a much smoother, more efficient delivery experience.
Right. It's all about the customer experience.
Yeah, for everyone
exactly
involved.
Yeah.
And customers took notice.
Yeah.
Like DoorDash consistently gets high marks in customer satisfaction surveys.
Interesting.
Which is huge.
I bet.
In an industry where your reputation is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But operational efficiency is only part of the story.
Okay, true.
DoorDash also made some smart strategic decisions that really set them apart.
Like what?
Like their early focus on national restaurant chains.
Oh, yeah.
So while other delivery services were fighting tooth and nail for individual restaurants in specific cities, DoorDash went straight to the big leagues.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Okay.
So by partnering with giants like Chipotle, McDonald's, Starbucks, they were able to expand their reach rapidly.
Makes sense.
And offer customers this much wider variety.
Right, so more selection for customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those partnerships weren't just about food.
Okay.
Remember DoorDash Drive?
DoorDash Drive, yeah.
Their white label delivery service.
Oh, yeah. That's where things get really interesting.
So essentially it allowed businesses beyond restaurants to use DoorDash's delivery network.
Right.
So think grocery stores, convenience stores, flower shops, you name it.
So it's like they built this amazing delivery machine and then realized we could use it to power all sorts of businesses.
Yeah, it was a strategic masterstroke.
It was.
That allowed them to diversify their revenue streams and scale their business incredibly fast.
Really fast.
But let's not forget about the customers themselves.
Right, the end user.
Right.
Yeah.
DoorDash understood that building loyalty and making the experience as seamless as possible was critical.
Super important.
That's where their Dash Pass subscription program comes in.
Dash Pass.
I paid a flat monthly fee, and you get unlimited free deliveries.
Wow. Okay.
And lower service fees.
That's interesting.
It's a classic win-win.
Yeah, for sure.
Customers are encouraged to order more often.
Right. They're in the ecosystem.
They stay within the DoorDash ecosystem.
Yeah.
While the company gets this predictable revenue stream.
Right.
It's a textbook example of identifying a customer need and creating a product that perfectly addresses it.
Yeah, smart.
Okay, so DoorDash is clearly doing a lot of things right.
They are.
But they haven't been immune to criticism.
Oh, of course not. No company is perfect.
Especially when it comes to how they treat their dashers.
Right.
Yeah, the gig economy model. It offers flexibility.
It does.
But it often comes at the cost of benefits and protections for workers.
Yeah, for sure. That's the trade-off.
Remember the controversy surrounding their tipping policy back in 2019?
Oh, yeah. Vaguely. I remember that.
It came out that DoorDash was using customer tips to subsidize base pay for dashers.
Oh, wow.
Essentially taking a cut of those kids.
Yeah, not good.
Major public relations nightmare.
Yeah, I bet.
Ethical misstep.
Yeah.
To say the least.
For sure.
DoorDash was quick to reverse the policy.
Okay, good.
But the damage was done.
Yeah.
And it really brought to light this vulnerable position of gig workers.
For sure.
And the power imbalances that can exist on these platforms.
Right.
And that's a bigger societal issue.
It is.
That goes way beyond just DoorDash.
For sure.
How do we balance the flexibility and innovation of the gig economy with fair wages and protections for the people who make it all work.
It's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah, it's a tough question.
It is.
And DoorDash, as one of the leaders in this space, they have a responsibility to be part of the solution.
For sure.
They need to find ways to ensure that their business model benefits both the company and the Dashers, who are essential to its success.
Absolutely.
And we can't forget about the restaurants themselves.
Right, the other side of the coin.
Yeah, so some argue that DoorDash's commission fees are too high.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that.
And that they're squeezing profits for restaurants.
Yeah.
That are already operating on thin margins.
Right. Everyone's trying to make a buck.
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
It is.
It's this delicate balance between providing a valuable service to restaurants and ensuring that they can actually make money being on the platform.
It's tough.
And then there's the issue of competition.
Okay.
Some restaurants worry that they're becoming too dependent on DoorDash.
I can see that.
Which gives the company a lot of control over their business.
Yeah, it's like, is it a partnership or is it a little too much power?
Yeah, it raises the question of long-term sustainability.
Right.
Like, can restaurants really thrive in a world where they're increasingly reliant on these third-party delivery platforms?
It's a question for sure.
It's a complicated landscape.
It is very complicated.
With no easy answers.
Nope.
So DoorDash's continued success depends on their ability to navigate these tricky issues.
And with its challenges,
and find solutions that work for everyone.
Yeah.
The restaurants, the Dashers, the company itself.
That's a tall order.
Yeah.
But they seem up to the challenge.
Yeah. And speaking of international expansion.
Right.
Their acquisition of Wolt. Was a bold move.
It was.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a clear sign that DoorDash is thinking long term.
Okay.
They know that to become a true global force, they need to establish a presence in key markets around the world.
So Europe is different though, right?
Oh, yeah. Different ballgame.
Yeah.
The regulations, consumer behavior, competitive landscape.
Right. It's all unique.
Absolutely.
So Wolt, with its deep understanding of the European market, it gives DoorDash like a strategic advantage.
For sure.
But integrating the two companies, it's going to be key.
Absolutely.
They'll need to figure out how to leverage Wolt's expertise while staying true to their own brand identity and operational efficiency.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a delicate balancing act.
It is.
But they've overcome challenges before.
They have. And, you know, their track record suggests that they're not afraid to take risks.
Yeah.
And push the boundaries of what's possible in the delivery space.
So they're ambitious, data-driven, customer-focused, and willing to take risks.
Okay.
But what does the future hold for DoorDash?
That is the question, isn't it? I mean, they're clearly not content with just being a food delivery company. Right? They're aiming to become like the infrastructure for local commerce.
That's a big one.
Right? Connecting businesses and consumers in a way that's never been done before.
It's a grand vision.
It is.
But it's not without its challenges.
Oh, of course not.
They'll need to navigate changing regulations, address concerns about worker treatment and platform dependence, and find ways to stand out in a market that's getting more and more crowded.
More crowded all the time.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the potential disruptions on the horizon.
What do we got?
Autonomous delivery vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Drone deliveries.
Okay.
Even like personalized robot chefs.
Right.
Could completely change the game.
It's all changing so fast.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Wild ride.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
DoorDash won't be sitting on the sidelines.
No, they're not.
They'll be adapting. Innovating.
And
pushing the boundaries.
Pushing the boundaries.
Of what's possible in the world of on-demand delivery.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, and that's what makes them such a fascinating company to watch.
I agree.
They're this like microcosm of these larger trends shaping the future of commerce, technology, and work.
For sure.
Okay.
Right.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From their scrappy beginnings to their global ambitions, DoorDash's journey shows the power of vision, execution, and a laser focus on customer needs.
It's all about the customer.
Yeah. But their story is far from over.
Not even close.
The challenges and opportunities ahead will continue to test their resilience, their adaptability, and their commitment to their core values.
It's going to be interesting to watch.
We've seen how they've handled crises.
Yeah.
And outmaneuvered competitors in the past.
For sure.
But the stakes are only getting higher.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just about understanding DoorDash's past.
Right.
It's about grappling with these like complex questions they're raising about the future of commerce and technology's role in our lives.
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
But in a good way, of course.
In a good way.
Now let's wrap up our deep dive.
Okay.
And leave you with some final thoughts.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back. And wow. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing DoorDash in like a whole new light after all that.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
But that's what makes these deep dives so fascinating, right? We're not just like skimming the surface. We're really digging into the nuances, the complexities, the potential impact of all this.
So let's break it down. Like, what are the big takeaways?
Okay, so for me, it really shows the power of creative problem solving.
Okay.
They saw a need, they questioned the conventional wisdom, and they built a solution that nobody else was doing.
Yeah, that early bet on the suburbs.
Genius.
It was genius.
And their data-driven obsession with like optimizing every little thing.
Oh my God,
that allowed them to reach levels of efficiency most people thought were impossible.
Yeah, and we can't forget their execution.
Their drive.
They moved fast, took risks, iterated constantly.
All while navigating this crazy competitive landscape.
It's nuts.
And that ability to adapt.
Oh, yeah, especially during the pandemic.
Talk about resilience.
Oh, resilience.
Like they can roll with the punches and come out stronger.
But it's not all perfect, right?
Of course not.
That reliance on the gig economy model brings up some ethical questions.
For sure.
About how workers are treated and whether they're becoming too dependent on the platform.
Yeah, those are issues that DoorDash and the whole tech industry, frankly, need to figure out. Like finding solutions that work for the companies and the workers is critical if they want to be around for the long haul.
And we can't ignore the competition.
Right. New players popping up all the time.
Constantly.
And the giants like Amazon are always lurking.
So the on-demand delivery world, it's like this constantly evolving beast.
It is a beast.
DoorDash can't afford to just sit back and relax.
Nope. They got to keep innovating, finding ways to stand out.
So what's the final verdict?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Is DoorDash a force for good?
I mean...
Are they a disruptor with some questionable practices?
Somewhere in between.
It's tough to say.
You know what? That's for you, the listener, to decide.
Okay.
I think their story is a complex one.
Very complex.
Full of triumphs and controversies.
Yeah.
But one thing is clear.
What's that?
They're shaping the future.
Yeah.
Of how we live and how we do business.
They're definitely a company worth watching.
I agree.
Not just for their business moves, but for the bigger questions they're raising.
About the role of technology work ethics.
In a world that's changing faster than ever.
And that's what makes these deep dives so valuable, right?
Sure.
They challenge us to think differently.
Yeah.
See things from new perspectives.
Yeah.
And give us the knowledge to really engage in these conversations.
So next time you're ordering your favorite takeout through DoorDash, take a second to think about all those connections and innovations and challenges that brought that food to your door.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Yeah. Like, what does DoorDash's rise tell us about the future of commerce?
What are the potential benefits and risks of their approach?
And what role do we have as consumers, investors, and citizens in shaping that future?
Big questions.
Big questions.
We hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought.
To explore them further.
Until next time.
So that was today's episode of my Side Hustle Weekend podcast. For everyone listening, if you're ready to take action on what you learned today, here's where you can find more resources. First, head over to sidehustleweekend.com. I've put together detailed guides, templates, and case studies. And while you are there, don't miss out on my free newsletter, Side Hustle Weekend. If you found value in today's discussion, hit that like button and subscribe to join our Weekend Hustlers community. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our episodes where we break down more side hustle strategies. Check the description below for all the tools and resources we mentioned today. Remember, everyone's journey starts with a single step. Whether you're looking to make an extra $500 a month or build something bigger, start with what you learned today and take action. So, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode where we'll break down another practical way to grow your income.